So this woman posted this in the True Off My Chest subreddit. She simply says, "My husband is an idiot." All right, let's jump right into it. She says, "This is really just a big rant post because I literally have no friends to vent to, and I can't talk about it with my family. My husband, who is 33, can't seem to use his brain. He is a stay at home dad, which is great, and we agreed to it before our second was born. We only have the two kids. Now, onto the issues. He only halfway does things, and it's driving me insane. He will sweep and mop only one to two quarter square foot area on the floor where the direct mess is, but won't just do the whole floor. Then he leaves the mop sitting in the dirty water for days until I get tired of smelling it or need the mop and take care of it myself. He will do laundry, but only if I put it in a basket and bring it downstairs. Then, without fail, will let it sit in the washer for a week until it needs to be washed again, and by that time, it's me that does it. Then, when I finally get them done and upstairs, he won't fold them and lets them pile up on the bed so bad I can't sleep in my own bed, so I go sleep in the nursery. The kids will stay in the same clothes or pajamas for days on end unless they get too messy, but he will only change the dirty item, i.e., only the shirt or pants. He will let the 3 year olds sit inside by themselves and not pay attention and then get upset when they get into things. He also rarely feeds the baby, the 10-month-old, any actual food, just makes bottles. And now that they can hold the bottle, he doesn't even sit, or feed them, just hands them the bottle and the dishes. He will put the dirty dishes in on the counter instead of emptying the sink. And the rare times he does put them in the sink, they are full plates of food. I'm talking a half of sandwich, scrambled eggs, noodles, fries, and chicken nuggets. I have tried everything to make it easier for him because I know two kids can be a lot. I have made sure the dishwasher and sink were both empty, and he still couldn't even scrape the food off and put them in the sink. I have tried food prepping a week's worth of food for the kids, and it just sits in the fridge until it's moldy. I have tried gently suggesting that it would be better and easier to sweep and mop the whole floor instead of just one small section, and a lot more I can't even remember right now. I am so over having to spend time after I get off of a 10-plus hour shift and my 3 days off every week cleaning the mess he has left behind, as well as taking over all childcare when I'm not working. Anytime I bring up any of this to my husband, he gets mad at me for putting him down and saying he can't do anything right and that it's hard taking care of kids. I know it is. That's why I tried doing the things I did to make it easier. I stayed home with our first for 2 years, and the house was never smelling like a hot porta potty, and he always had clean work clothes. I usually don't even get a shower during the work week because I'm cleaning and cooking and taking care of the kids after work. Thankfully, I don't work closely with other people. Oh my goodness. I just feel like I'm a single mom sometimes, but I have the advantage of a free babysitter, but a bad one. So just yesterday, I made this post from this man that told the women to just give the men the list. Tell them what can they do to take some things off of your plate. Just spell it out. And the women that retweeted this man's post were like, why do women have to handhold? Are men incapable of using their eyes? And like some of the women said, even when you spell it out really clearly, you're nagging. If you are, writing down lists and then giving exact details, you're treating them like children. But then you have a man who is cleaning just one spot and leaving everything else dirty. You have a man that is perfectly willing to put a sandwich in the sink versus scraping the plate off. And it becomes so aggravating because people like this man act like reality doesn't exist. Like these men don't act like this woman in this particular Reddit is saying. He says, men really do want to help. No, they don't, because if they wanted to, they would. They wouldn't put a sandwich in the sink. They wouldn't put a whole thing of fries in the sink. They would just see that something is dirty and pick it up off the floor. So at some point, women are just going to walk away and stop doing this, because how long can a woman like the OP in that Reddit last? In a situation like this, where it just does become simply easier to be a single mom and hire out help versus trying to, like, really, you could just sweep the whole floor instead. Like, how long can she really last like that? Dee Dee says, so he's a bad stay-at-home dad. Time for him to get a job. He really does need a job. He's obviously, like, being doing the whole malicious compliance, like, okay, I'll watch them. But he agreed to this, and now he just has to do it. But this job, being a stay-at-home parent, is hard. And some men really don't know how hard moms work because they've never had to do it. They might agree to do some of this stuff, but it is a challenge to do these things. Marceline says he needs to be fired. Absolutely. Sufficient Way says, and hire a cleaning person. They won't have a mess this badly to clean either, because he should be out of the house for like at least 8 hours a day, and the kids won't have to be there pulling everything out. Maybe Never says, yep, this, back to work he goes. Defiant Pomelo says, maybe better if he gets a job and you hire someone to take care of the cleaning. After Loquat says, has he ever had a job? Was he able to execute tasks without his hand being held at his job? And then Burned Not Destroyed says, yes, this is an important question. We started politely calling my ex a stay at home dad because he kept losing jobs, supervisors stupid, everyone's against him, making him look bad, etc. He proceeded to do the same at home, except I ended up falling into the stupid supervisor role in his mind. Finally, I said enough is enough. I pay child support since he has him on the weekends, and I'm not at all mad about it, because let me tell you, my life is infinitely better without dealing with that nonsense, and I would have paid even more for the peace that I have now. So women are saying that they would rather do this by themselves than be stuck in this tolerable level of permanent unhappiness. Asperlov says, tell him he needs to get a job, even if it's just to cover daycare. If your child should be starting on real food, then what other developmental tasks are your children missing because of a lazy husband? Pure effing laziness is his problem. He needs to get a job now. If he's not changing dirty clothes, he's also not bathing the children either. That's neglect. Shame on both of you for letting this both go on this long. And then Walter says, for God's sakes, woman, use your brain. He is doing this so you do his job and your own. So Yamaha Ryoko says, if you go on Reddit to make a my husband is an idiot post, then divorce your effing husband for the love of God. The fact that you use the internet to lambast your spouse should be your first clue. And then the OP says, I do love my husband and I'm not going to leave him. These issues are pretty new and I don't know where this is all coming from. I'm just very frustrated and exhausted and needed to vent a little. I don't have any friends of my own. Any friends I do have are his friends from before we got together. So I don't really feel like I can talk to them about this. I also will not talk to my family about this because they will take it as their mission to fix it, and that would make things worse. So here she is commenting to a person's comment that is deleted. She says, if he was actually taking proper care of the kids, it wouldn't even be an issue, but he isn't. The kids are hungry when I get home. The oldest has gotten into something because he wasn't watching them. And the house is a disaster until I can actually clean on my 3 days off. I work 4 days a week, waking up at 3 a.m. and getting off about 2 p.m., sometimes a little later. Then I come home, usually don't have time to even change out of work clothes before the oldest is saying they're hungry because all they've had are maybe some chips and candy. He only has to take care of them by himself for a max of 7 hours by himself because they usually wake up around 7, and that's not even a full work day for most people. After that, he goes in the garage and plays video games and pretty much ignores everyone, then gets pissy when I or the kids needs his attention for 2 seconds. So spare me the red pill bullshit and about how I should feel thankful he does the absolute bare minimum of keeping the kids alive. This woman sounds frustrated. I don't know if she's ready to leave him yet. We will have to wait and see, but she has posted before. I will make another post with some of her other posts because she sounds like she's getting fed up. I don't know yet, but join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.